Hello, and welcome back for this new ASMR chess video. Today I'm going to attempt to play a game live with you while playing the game on my phone. Don't know if you can see it. I'm going to be playing against Sardoche. It's bot on chess.com, which is rated about 1550. It's the French streamer who actually won the third edition of the Pogchamps, and I will be playing with the black pieces. And I'll just start the game right away. I'm playing on my phone next to it. If he does want to start playing a move, because I know it. Oh, yeah. He played e4, and I'm going to be playing e6, the French. So he's thinking right now. We have d4, and I'm playing d5. A standard response to the French. We have e5, the advance. So I'm just going to playing c5 so far. Nothing out of the usual. We have c3, and I'm playing knight to c6, targeting this pawn, trying to put some pressure on it. We have knight to f3, and I will be playing queen to b6. Alright. So now we have bishop to d3. That's interesting. That's called the Milner-Barry gambit, because you could technically take this pawn, and you cannot recapture this knight, because after knight takes and knight takes, there is bishop b5 check that would win the queen. It's a well-known trick in this opening, so it's something that I have to pay attention to. It's a move that I cannot play. But what I like to do in this position is take first once. I'm not going to be capturing this back with the knight. But after this capture that Sardoche plays, I'm going to be playing bishop to d7. Intending for Sardoche to take this pawn, because now there is no longer bishop c5 threatening to win the queen, because that would not come with check. And yeah, Sardoche castles, so I can just go and take the pawn. And it's going to be interesting, because I will be one pawn up. But white has some compensation with some piece activity. So that's going to be an interesting game. Queen takes back, and we have queen to b3, targeting this pawn. So I do not want to give that pawn up. I mean, I could capture on e5, but he wouldn't just go here, threatening the rook, and I could technically go back with the queen, defending over here. That's not completely bad. At the same time, he's not completely threatening to take just yet, because I would take the bishop. So I'm not quite sure what to do. I don't fancy b6 yet. Although after bishop e3 I would be fine. I think could just take this pawn. So it's really a question of, do I want to be greedy or not? I think that capturing this pawn with the queen capturing over here and dropping the queen back could be an interesting line to basically try to exchange the queen while I'm one pawn up, and that would be a passed pawn on d5, so that could be an interesting line. Hopefully I'm not walking into any trap. After queen takes e5, I'm not too worried about this, because I could just drop the queen back to c7. So I'm going to take he does take it. I believe that's a mistake. Because you're not just giving me the trade while I'm one pawn up, but you're also giving me some activity with the rook. Because my rook is now on an open file, or semi-open file. So this is good for me. And we have h4. Okay. That's the typical idea from the bots that don't quite know what to play. So I'm either going to develop my knight or my bishop, and I'm not exactly sure which to do. This bishop is kind of stuck at the moment because he would drop this pawn if he moved. Bishop to e7 would threaten this, but I'm guessing he's just going to advance it, after which I could just threaten it again, but I'm guessing he's going to defend it somehow, but that would be weakening his king a little bit. I could also go bishop to c5. I think that would be a decent move. Putting some pressure over here, or even bishop d6. Preventing this square, which might actually be the best move in the position. That's what I'm going to go for, because my bishop feels really well placed over here. We have g3. And now I'm even thinking of bishop to e5 that I did not think about just before, but this... I don't know how you defend this b2 pawn, so I think I'm going to go for this. Like that. And in fact, he does not defend the pawn, and that's just a big mistake. King g2. No, I'm just winning a piece after bishop takes b2. I'm guessing he's going to recapture with the bishop, but I know I have rook takes back. Okay, so maybe the chess combats are a little bit weaker than I expected them to be. We have rook to e1, but that's too little too late, I'm afraid. I mean, that does not really do anything. No, well, I want to develop this knight. I don't really see a reason to move it to e7, so I think I'm going to go knight f6, just to complete my development. I don't see anything else to do. I'm potentially threatening to go knight f4 next to target this pawn. So I'm going to play knight f6. It's my first time actually commentating on a game I'm playing, so I try to be really thorough in my thought process, because somehow I'm scared that I'm going to make a mistake. Just a big blunder because I'm talking to the camera and not focusing on what I'm doing. But Sardoche just offers me the trade, so I'm going to take it, because, well, I'm a piece and a pawn up. So really, I'm happy with trades. I mean, I could even offer some more of them, of those. I could castle, but I think I can even just walk my king up. Don't necessarily need to castle in this position, there is not much danger. So I move like king e7 to activate the rook. Makes a little bit more sense than castling. Could be slightly annoying if this rook could appear on b7, pinning the bishop, and after something like this, well, it's defended by the knights, but it could be a slight issue. But I'm not afraid of that, because this rook is just completely stuck at the moment. Wait, what? I forgot to register the move on the app. Oh. That's funny. I did make a mistake, but on the phone I forgot to play this. So I thought that I had recapture with the bishop and I took this. But actually I just played king e7 and plundered the rook. So you know what? because now he has a rook that can come up here really quickly. And well, I'm down an exchange for a pawn, so that's not that too bad. But it's definitely not ideal. I'm going probably to have to bank on this pawn. I don't want the rook to appear on b7. So now I'm a little bit annoyed. I cannot quite play a6 and bishop b5 first because he would take a6 and even then he has a4. So that does not seem like a really good move. So I don't quite know what to play. So I'm thinking simply rook to c8, because if he went to where to place rook to b7, I could just slide on my rook to c1 to pin the knight. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Rook to c8. At least it makes the game a little bit more interesting with rook to b7. This pawn is here, yeah, and I did not gonna realize that this would put the pawn at risk. That's a little annoying. And of course, just moving it does not really solve my problem. Because even after this, there is this knight move. And well, if this move does not really do much. This knight move. What am I doing? So, this is the position at the moment. And I have to find a nice move here. I could give up the pawn, but probably not a good idea. This, I don't. Oh, actually, this bishop takes rook over there. I would have some maybe bishop ideas, but it's a little bit too slow. So I might just simply go rook to a8 to defend the pawn. But that's super passive, so I don't like it. Sometimes it's just better to sacrifice the pawn and just go for some activity. But the problem is I don't really see the activity. Yeah. I think I'm just going to go rook to c1 anyway. I don't want to take too long thinking. Now he plays a4, which this is I'm surprised with. Okay. So that's not the move I expected. I might reroute my knight to e8 and d6 to kind of chase the rook away, but then he could just take the pawn, so that does not make much sense. Knight e4 over here could make some sense to try and go over here. But if he takes the knights, I think I could be okay. So I think this knight to e4 move is decent. So that's what I'm playing. We have a5. I did not expect that. Well, now there is another threat that I did not quite see on the previous move, which is just knight to c5. The fork on the rook and the bishop. And if he goes to take this pawn, I should have some way to defend against this, because I will be a piece up. Well, at least I have 2 pieces for the rook. So I decide to sacrifice over here. I'm going to recapture with my king because I want to keep my knight in the middle of the board. And that's alright. We are back in a nice position. Bishop back to e1. Well, that's interesting. Now I can win the knight because I have knight to b3, forking the rook and the knight, and if he moves the rook to attack the knight, I can take that's nice. This pawn is hanging, but not really. Or is it? Like after queen 2, king to c6, bishop takes, g6, you can play something like this, or even this. He has the time to save the bishop. So maybe I don't want to give him that pawn. So I'm just going to go h6. I'm also not really used to play over the board. So there is that as well. Well, I'm just going to bring the knight back. I'm thinking either one of these two squares, or maybe even there, to go and threaten this pawn. So I think this is knight b2, the move that I'm going to go with, to reroute it to c4. And now I'm just going to move my king toward this. I mean, if bishop, well, there is no bishop a4 check, but I'm not really worried because I'm up so much material that I'm going to go after this pawn. We have bishop c4, and I'm just going to go d3, and now I'm just going to go knight c4, blocking the bishop, threatening to take this pawn. If he pushes the pawn like he does, I can just go after it. And now it should be an easy conversion. King takes pawn. Yeah, I'm forgetting that I need to put the moves in. Bishop over here. Yeah, no, I think this is not really that much interesting anymore, but let's finish the game anyway. I'm just going to push this pawn, because passed pawns are meant to be pushed. I'm going to bring the king in to prevent this king from going in and kind of blocking the advance of the pawn so that I can win easily. Alright. I'm guessing, well, he probably wants to go somewhere over there, but that's going to be too little too late. Oh. That's an interesting move. No, I even have king b2 to ensure that this pawn is going to promote that the bishop cannot come back to sacrifice itself for the pawn. And I'm not scared about this, because I'm just going to promote. Alright, should be quick. And I'm going to promote to a queen. And I don't know if I'm going to play the entire game. Don't know how interesting that is. Oh, maybe I have a quick checkmate. Actually, yeah, I might have, because the knight is controlling this square, so this now is square over this. So I'm going to play queen to a7 check, and I'm going to try to checkmate the king very quickly. And I did not see this. That's just silly. So when I said that I don't have that much experience over the board, yeah. But there is not much that black can do, or white can do. So pretty much anything is winning. Check. Going to try to find a nice way to finish the game. Queen to e7, let's just trade off the pieces then. If my checkmating attack failed, I'm just going to simplify down to a completely winning position. And you know what, I'm going to play it to the checkmate, just because. Why not? So that it makes a long video for once. Something that I've not quite done before. Check. Or not check, but I take the pawn. this helped